So, welcome everybody to our webinar entitled Partnering for Impact, Exploring TryEngineering's Partner Resources. Thank you for being here. Happy IEEE Day. Today we're gonna discuss about how partnership makes things happen and increases the impact of our actions, and specifically about educational activities. Um, so first of all, I want to talk to you about our mission. IEEE's pre-university activities mission is to inspire the engineers of tomorrow by mobilizing the global reach of IEEE volunteers to impact as many school-age children as possible through STEM programs, activities, and resources via our Try ecosystem. So far, since VTool started recording our events, there are almost 3,500 events conducted in 72 countries, where more than 300,000 students were impacted and 44,670 teachers were trained. Um, about 38,000 volunteers were involved, and of course, we never forget the parents. About 49,000 parents were engaged. Um, so at this webinar, we are happy to have three distinguished guests. Um, who I'm gonna invite on stage now. Brandy Armstrong from the Oceanic Engineering Society. Kathy Hayashi, she's regional director, and she participated in the creation of a lot of resources about the semiconductors, and Stefano Giordano, who's a ComSoc member. First of all, Brandy, I would like you to introduce yourself to the audience. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. My name is Brandy Armstrong. I'm the former president of the Oceanic Engineering Society. Oceanic Engineering Society has actually been working with TryEngineering for several years. We started a while back. There wasn't even an Oceanic Engineering page yet, and we helped get that started. We volunteered to help populate the page, and working with TryEngineering made that really easy. We did some expert interviews, right, and spotlights on different OES members. Our most recent finalized project is this Ocean Heroes ebook, which is really exciting. Actually, they came out to oceans and did a video interviews with a bunch of different oceanographers, and they compiled that into a great video in the beginning of that book. But the book, I'm really excited about the book, and I think it's going to reach a lot of people. We've also got the STEM field page, which is a compilation of all the things that we work with TryEngineering on over the years. And we've been doing STEM grants to sponsor local events, which is great for us because sometimes we don't have the volunteer manpower to follow up on these things and to collect the metrics. And that's something that TryEngineering has been able to do for us. And then we're working currently on an ocean mapping lesson plan, and we're really excited about this AUV game. We're working on a pitch deck for that right now.
Oops, I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you so much. Really great stuff, and there are a lot of great stuff coming up. So yeah, we're super excited. Thank you. Okay, next up, Stefano Giordano. Stefano, welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Thematis. I cannot share the screen now. Probably we have to. Okay, perfect. So I will try to share just to describe what communication engineering is doing. And my name is Stefano Giordano. I'm professor at University of Pisa in Italy. I'm at present the chapter chair of Italy of IEEE ComSoc. And you see here we are involved in this very large domain, from application and services for the verticals to signals and sensing, distributed intelligence with something that is really changing a lot in the network, that is transforming itself a lot in a cloud continuum. And of course, you notice all this multimedia communication that is a center part of our domain. Um, we move with the telecommunication from molecular and nanoscale communication by the other networks to space communication and even underwater. That is where we are interacting a lot with the Oceanic Society for sure. So I'm very pleased to be invited here. Thank you very much for your kind invitation.
It's our pleasure and honor. Thank you for being here. And next is Kathy Hayashi. She played an important role in creating those resources about semiconductors and, of course, in promoting them. So, Kathy, would you like to tell us a few things about you?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. So glad to be here. My name is Kathy Herring-Hayashi, and I am the chair of the IEEE Global Semiconductors Group here at IEEE. And Stamatis, I don't see the slide. Is that being presented?
Yeah, give us a second.
All right, thank you so much. So I've spent my entire career working in the semiconductor field from front to back, mostly in the software and for providing the CAD tools that are used in order to create semiconductor chips. And so what I was able to do was I had the opportunity to work with the TryEngineering group that was working on a grant from onsemi. Now, they had been working with Matt Francis, who unfortunately couldn't be here, but he's a director of Region 5, and he's done quite a bit with Matt and Lynn and others from the region to support the onsemi grant, which provided us with a lot of funds and resources in order to promote semiconductors and getting people to understand what semiconductors is. Now, semiconductors is kind of a complex field, but through this partnership, they were able to create several deliverables that describe semiconductors in a way that people will understand. So on the website, there's some great lessons that talk about the making of a microchip. And there's videos that were created by people that are in the industry, people like myself that have been working on semiconductor chips. We know how chips are made, and being able to communicate and tell people what things are really like in designing computer chips. And also, as you see there on the slide, is an ebook called A Journey into the World of Semiconductors. And I think that this is one of the best books that describes semiconductors in a way that people can understand. Semiconductors are complex, but this one takes it from the very first page that says, what is a semiconductor? So for anybody that is interested in semiconductors or any aspect of it, I really encourage you to download this and take a look at what is the wonderful world of semiconductors in this ebook. I was in Bogota, Colombia, and I had this on the slide, and I'm presenting at a seminar next week, and I will also be having a copy of it with me. So thank you, TryEngineering, for all the great work that you're doing to support semiconductors. Thank you.
We thank you for your contributions and leadership. It has been great, and I know that a lot of more exciting things are coming up. So in this panel, what we want to show our attendees is that together we can do much more stuff than alone. So I will try to interrogate you in a way to discover this aspect. So my first question is, what inspired your organization to partner with TryEngineering? And can you share a story that illustrates the most rewarding part of this collaboration? Let's start with Kathy.
Well, thank you. I have been in the semiconductor field making computer chips. So one thing that I've also been doing for the last 15 years is I've been teaching in community colleges. I teach computer science. And one of the things that we've all been kind of tasked to think about is how do we bring semiconductors to community colleges? And by taking the first look, it seemed like a daunting task because there's so many things about semiconductors. Where do you start and where do you put, how can you put it in a way that the students will understand if this is their first exposure to semiconductors? So I was able to attend one of the TryEngineering sessions where it was train the teachers and the counselors on how to teach semiconductors. And I thought that was just perfect. And so I went to one of the sessions, and it was just great because it told how that you can introduce it, and they did it using squishy circuits or Play-Doh. They had specific curriculum that you could follow step by step, and then there were learning outcomes. So it was very clear what you would learn at each one. But it didn't stop at just creating a circuit, but it also went on to how do you create and manufacture a wafer chip. And so this gave a pretty good background on how semiconductor chips are made. So that was my very first introduction to the TryEngineering semi work, and it was really impactful because then and there I understood some tried and true with objectives, with learning outcomes that I was able to use in other sessions as well.
Thank you. Great, great. So, Stefano, what about you? What inspired your organization to partner with TryEngineering?
Yes, can you give me the possibility to share again? Thanks. Thank you very much. For the IEEE Communication Society, the typical activities in education were related to long life learning, professional courses, and PhD schools all over the world. But you see from this picture that is from James Heckman, that was a Nobel laureate in economics, that there is a greater return of investment in education when you start really before. And for that reason, in our Educational Service Board of IEEE ComSoc, we were thinking about the idea of starting something with the school, pre-university, that was never tried in the past. So 3 years ago, we started these activities. And the story that I want to tell you about is related to this guy, that is Professor Leonard Kleinrock at UCL. It was the responsible of the first ARPANET node at UCLA when he was a child at the age of 6, reading Superman comics in his apartment in Manhattan. At the Center for the he found a plan to build a crystal radio. And Kleinrock tried to buy all the components to see music, to hear music for free with the crystal radio. He asked his father to give him the razor blade to build a sort of diode, and then with the toilet paper roll, he was able to build up an inductance, and then he needed a variable capacitor. He didn't know what a variable capacitor was, but he asked his mom to go in Manhattan and to buy these components that you see in the bottom part of the slides to realize this radio that was working without batteries. I could hear music to the earpiece. Kleinrock said it was magic. I was hooked. You notice that sometimes are sparkle events that drive you towards a specific career, towards engineering. So we have done the same. In Pisa, thanks to the contribution of the ComSoc, the IEEE Communication Society, we were starting an event at the Internet Festival. Pisa was the first Italian town connected to the ARPANET in the 80s. And you notice we were proposing to the student from crystal radio to 5G. And again, they were able to build up their own crystal radio, and from the antennas that you see there on the right, we received the AM that was possible to receive with this very, very simple radio realized by the students. So this is something that for us was very, very relevant in the interaction with TryEngineering. We learn a lot from the experiences of all the other societies with TryEngineering, and we are starting from there. We wanted to contribute to the initiative of the World IEEE. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Really exciting. Okay, let's move to Brandy. Brandy, what inspired your organization to partner with TryEngineering, and what was the most rewarding part of this collaboration?
So I think if I remember properly, TryEngineering actually reached out to us because in the beginning there was not an oceanic engineering page and they wanted to start one. The Oceanic Engineering Society is one of the smaller societies in IEEE, and it's very multidisciplinary. So people from all different societies may have some overlap with what we do. So for us, our outreach, we don't have as many volunteers as we might like to have all the time, and we do some outreach to younger people. We do the National Ocean Sciences Bowl, which is like a quiz bowl kind of thing for, I think it's middle school and high school. And then there's also AUV competitions, which are more, college level competitions in our case. And those reach a relatively small amount of people in comparison to what the TryEngineering can reach, right? And so starting to work with TryEngineering just enabled us to expand our reach. And so we had all these ideas that we couldn't really bring to fruition. And by working with TryEngineering, we now had some extra, man hours to make those things happen, but also the professionalism with which they come, right? They already have ideas on how to do these things and how best to do these things, right? So we were able to come with our ideas and then them help us bring them to fruition, which has been really excellent. And a good example of this is the upcoming game, right? Because we are able to do these competitions, right? But the competitions are limited. You can only have so many teams that can participate in a competition. But if you have a game that can reach people all over the world and all different ages, now suddenly you can expand that to just such a large group of people, right? And you can reach out. And one of the problems we have, particularly in oceanic engineering and in the blue economy in general, is that it's a small group of people. It's not a well-known field of study. A lot of people don't realize they can make their living as an oceanographer or as an ocean engineer. So just reaching those students at a young age so that they realize it's a possibility and they could explore. It's a very multidisciplinary field for them to be able to explore all the different possibilities within that field is really important. And this is one way we can reach a lot of people in, with less volunteer hours than because we don't have that many volunteers, right? The TryEngineering really multiplies our effort in that way.
All right, thank you. So let me ask Stefano. Can you share a STEM resource or initiative that came out of this partnership? And we want the one that you're especially proud of.
Yes. Again, I will try to share. Sorry. Yes, the activity that we are particularly proud is the preparation of these two videos on, the ideas that are behind the transformation of our society thanks to telecommunication. And you notice how communication engineers keep us connected and future innovator communication engineers shaping what's next. I don't want to show you now the video that are still in a draft version, but frankly speaking, we are particularly proud about these activities. And we also prepare an ebook that is Connected for Good, How Communication Engineers Are Changing the World. This is something for us that we are very really proud about, and it helped us a lot to involve more parents, students, and the teachers within the schools, but a lot of people, even from companies, in this action, in the direction of a better knowledge of communication. So I will show you later something more about it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, creating such videos is not an easy task, and I think the fact that we in IEEE can, have that a huge network of specialists, of experts, who can speak in those videos and can share their expertise is something unique. So, what about you, Brandy? What are initiative or resource you're especially proud of?
So I think the thing that is completed that we're most proud of is the ebook, the Ocean Heroes ebook. So they TryEngineering organized a group to come out and take professional video. We got a number of scientists together, ocean scientists from government and academia and industry and nonprofit organizations, right? And each of them were answering questions about the ocean and why this is important, an important option as a career. And I think it turned out really well. I like the way that not only is there's this introductory video, but then as you go through it, it introduces just a wide swath of the different kinds of things you can go into for ocean engineering, because once again, it's very multidisciplinary. It's accessible. The book, is at a reading level where it can be used at, multiple different age ranges, which I think is important. There's lots of links that will take you to lesson plans, right, that you can do in your classrooms. The whole thing, to me, it's something that's very polished that we have not had before for the Oceanic Engineering Society, right? It's something that we can point to and share with young people, right? And it's the sort of thing that I can take to my daughter's school and say, here, look at this, right? And share with the science teachers. And so I think that that's something that we haven't had in the past. We haven't been that organized with our education within the Oceanic Engineering Society. So to finally have these sort of polished, and very professional products that we can then hand out and use for outreach has been really important for us. And so that, I think, is the thing we're most proud of. And the game, again, we're very excited to get going on that. And I'm sure that will, exceed our expectations as well.
Cool. Yes, yes, and the quality of the resources that are created is out of this world. I mean, I'm super excited. Thank you, and Kathy. By the looks of it, you're proud of many resources, but could you pick one?
Oh, by far, the ebook is an excellent thing for people to look at. I did want to say that out of those training programs, we had a lot of STEM kits that were doing, squishy circuits and things like that. We were able to then do even further initiatives where we worked with MGA, Region 5 and Region 6. I was the director of Region 6, and Matt was Region 5 director. And together, we purchased STEM kits for both of our regions for our sections. So we were able to even take this further, that we could buy these STEM kits that would be used by members of our communities so that they could also learn how to use these kits in order to learn more about semiconductors.
Yes, great. Thank you so much. Ooh. Next question. Drum roll. How have volunteers and staff been engaged in your TryEngineering initiatives, and how has their involvement shaped the success of your STEM outreach efforts? I'll start with Brandy. She kind of said a few things, but if you want to add some.
So again, for us, the TryEngineering staff have been really helpful because we just don't always have the volunteers or the expertise to do educational outreach kind of things. So it's a way for us to multiply our, whatever money we have to put towards that, we can multiply that by working through TryEngineering. And that's been really important for us. I love the way that TryEngineering works with us to shape what we're doing, right? So again, ocean engineering is a very niche kind of field. And so there are lots of questions. And I know that, working with this staff, they've said, wow, I've learned so much about this, right? And it gets them excited. It gets students excited, right? We have the luck of, despite being a very small society, oceanic engineering and just oceanography in general makes people excited because it's the ocean. So being able to work with people and teach them more about it and have them get excited about it and then create these products that, make other people excited about it has really made us more successful, right? Like you can see the excitement in the people that are working on it, and then that carries through to the final product.
Yes, thank you. What about you, Kathy?
Yeah, one of the things that we didn't mention, but also was part of the TryEngineering portfolio, is the summer institutes. And I'm here in San Diego, and the staff has been amazing at connecting us as a San Diego section to, we usually have trying to work with the students at, for example, at University of San Diego, and working with industry outreach, companies, great companies to work with, such as Qualcomm. And through the Summer Institutes, which is a week-long program that the students come in and learn about engineering and other technical areas. Then they come to our companies like Qualcomm and get tours and get to talk to engineers and the projects that they're working on. So as a San Diego section member, also having TryEngineering's and having the staff help coordinate our school outreach and our industry outreach, the staff has just been amazing and makes it seamless for us. And the companies really enjoy working with them because it does make it a seamless experience, but allows them to, all of us to have more STEM outreach here in the San Diego community.
Great. Yes, thank you. Stefano, your turn.
Yes, thank you. I want to show you something. Indeed, the interaction with TryEngineering changed our mind. Can I share? Sorry.
Give a second to stop sharing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the changed totally our mind. We liked a lot these ignite excitement in younger student, engage and help educate the next generation of engineers, and help students, their teacher and parents learn more about communication technology, understand potential career paths in this area. We liked a lot these learn, explore, build, compete by gaming, tour, discover. And this was something within TryEngineering. And we consider this very relevant for the new society 5.0, where we have a human-centric approach to technology education. And this, for us, was a way to understand that creativity is the key. It's not only, something that is related to the hard stuff, the hard matter, but many soft skills are very relevant in the career of the students. So we understood the ideas of multiple intelligences, and our group started with the joint work of a person from industry, such as Steve Izzo from the Nokia Bell Labs, Joyce, that is a person, she's a professor at the University of Cape Town, but she comes from the Women in Communication Engineering, and for sure, Tara McNally, that was an education services program manager at IEEE Communication Society. But for us, from TryEngineering, it was fantastic, the contribution that we received from Donna, and we were working together, this with a lot of other people. You notice here, thanks to the interaction with the companies, it's very easy to have also their contribution in this science fair, robotic festival, so where we were all together working to dissecting the machine. And some learning for us was something very relevant to engage the student.
All right, thank you. I want to mention, because of this question, that I want to shout out about the EA staff members, that they're doing an excellent job. They spend hours and hours, making our ideas reality. Um, and I have to mention also that we receive a lot of resources, a lot of ideas who need to, a lot of work in order to uh, get them to the quality that we would like to have. So um, if we were live, I would have requested an upload for them. So yeah, and this collaboration between volunteers and staff, I think, is at its best within pre-university educational activities. Let's move on. The next one is one of those questions that I really enjoy asking. So everybody knows that we're trying to move to the one IEEE, which is everybody helping each other without any borders with between societies, organizational units, etc. So I would like to ask Kathy, what role does the One IEEE spirit play in amplifying the reach of your initiatives?
It is part of everything that we do. One IEEE is such a powerful concept, and that by working together, the results show that we really can do so much more together. And so I really believe in this strategic initiative and the things that I've seen happen from it, even in the last couple months here. So working, I've already mentioned several times, working with Region 5 and Region 6, working together on some of the STEM initiatives directly out of what we were doing with TryEngineering. In fact, when I couldn't attend one of the events, I went to a different region so that I could attend. So it was cross boundaries. And then also working with different groups, because when we work in semiconductors, I can talk a lot about semiconductors, but my descriptions are probably so technical, it's so hard to understand. But working with the great staff and the editorial teams at TryEngineering, together, you put together something that a lot of people can understand. And that is just amazing. That is working together. And just another part of this, we had a global semiconductor summit just recently in Region 9, where we worked with IEEE USA, we worked with Region 9, and we worked with Future Directions Global Semi. And of course, on the screen, I had the educational activities ebook just as part of the whole picture of what IEEE does in order to support initiatives such as semiconductors. So it's a great initiative, and I'm so glad that people are embracing it within IEEE the way that they are.
Thank you so much. So inspiring. Okay, Stefano, your turn. What role does the One IEEE spirit play in amplifying the reach of your initiatives?
Yes, every time that we present any of our events, we also present IEEE, and I can share here some of the slides that show you how it's relevant for the students to understand the impressive contribution of IEEE all over the world as the largest technical professional organization. And apart from the different domain, it's very relevant that they understood that within this society, there are all volunteers. And for instance, only my IEEE ComSoc, we have 27 technical committees. I'm chairing the tactile internet. And if we have also emerging technology initiatives, so we have the possibility introducing IEEE to show to the students how all these volunteers together they are working for the good of humanities. And for me, it was particularly relevant the knowledge of the other part, that is the region, the section, the student branch that I didn't knew about when I was working particularly on the technical committees, on the scientific journals, or even the larger conferences. There you find humanitarian conferences, you find historical subjects, and of course educational subject that you can carry on with the contribution also with of companies, of industries. So for me it was very interesting, apart from the cooperation that of course we have with the other society. You know that more than 53% of the members of IEEE are members of more than two societies. So the situation was particularly interesting for what it was related to the region, section, and student branch. This was something very much relevant for our action with the schools.
Okay, great. Ronnie, what about you? What do you think of One IEEE, and how did this will help amplify the reach of your initiatives?
So again, we are a small society amongst IEEE. So for us, working with other societies really helps us to learn some best practices, sharpen our ideas. We created the ebook after semiconductors created their ebook, right? We're able to see things that are working well for other groups and then bring those similar ideas to IEEE OES, right? So I think that is one way that it plays in. As several people said earlier, the TryEngineering is able to reach this cross-disciplinary audience across of all IEEE. In a very similar way, we've also worked with the different publications of IEEE. They'll interview OES members, right, and share that across disciplines. And it's a very cross-disciplinary field. It seems like sometimes, and someone else mentioned this, you have these members who are in multiple societies, right? But maybe other people don't realize they could be a member of Oceanic Engineering Society and how that might overlap with what they're doing in computers or in robotics, right? And so, this idea of One IEEE is really helpful to us because we are so multidisciplinary that really we should be working more across societies, and this is giving us an opportunity to do that.
Right, thank you. Yes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we've heard a lot of the things that are already built by partnering with TryEngineering. So I would like to ask Stefano, how do you envision your partnership with TryEngineering evolving over the next few years?
Yes, as you can see my slide, there is, for us, it was a great opportunity to learn about how well the lesson plans were organized by TryEngineering. For instance, you see here the case of elective messages, and you see the age range that was very relevant. We can distinguish between elementary school, medium age school, and high schools. And for us, we want to continue to contribute to the TryEngineering initiative that we support also from the Educational Service Board every year. And since this idea of organizing very well all the material, giving the schools the possibility to replicate some of the activities, having all these references for the teachers and for the student, for us it was a great example to follow. And of course, it was interesting also to consider the historical part that sometimes are behind these inventions, and very relevant, sometimes some failures that were relevant for the student to encourage them to go on with their career. And of course, step by step, we understand that the opportunity that they have with the very cheap solution, now to be able to do something that in the past was extremely expensive. Now you can even launch a satellite, with a very low cost with the school sometimes. So this for us was something very relevant, and we hope to go on with the contribution with the TryEngineering initiative, even with this try of simulation. There are new ways of collaborating within the schools and from the school with the university to share some of these initiatives.
Cool, thank you. We're looking forward. Brandy, what about you?
I mentioned briefly the game pitch, right, that we were working on. We just had Oceans, our flagship conference in Chicago, and we held a workshop at Oceans that brought together some experts from Field Day in making games, but also some education experts from the local schools, and then also experts in the field of autonomous underwater vehicles. And they all got together to discuss what a game might look like, and especially how to design a game that's engaging enough to get children, young people interested, but also it meets the needs of teachers. And that way you can introduce this subject to thousands or even millions of students all over the world, right? It suddenly becomes accessible to people who just have access to the internet, which I think is amazing. They don't have to have a lot of money to build an AUV anymore. They can make a virtual AUV and test it out. And I think that will really, make it more accessible and more, open to people all over the world who may not be able to even consider learning about this, right, in their current situations. And so this is also a really big project for us. It's the biggest project we've done. It's going to require us to work with other societies, which I think is great. And I'm excited about reaching out to some different societies to work together on it. And so it's going to take a good bit of time. It's not something that's going to be done right away. And I know, there were some other groups that were working on games, and it's a 2 or 3 year process, right? It requires a lot of money and a lot of time. So that's something that I imagine we'll be working on for the next few years. And that's very exciting. And everyone who is involved in the workshop was super excited about how successful they think this is going to be. So I am also very excited to see how it comes out. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, we're excited too, and we're looking forward to implementing it. Yeah, it needs a lot of effort. Thank you. So Kathy, tell me your take about envisioning your partnership with TryEngineering.
Well, thank you. And as with Brandy, I'm just so excited, and I can't wait to see what things TryEngineering will be working on and evolving on, because the things that they do are methodical and strategic, and we can see that. And obviously, as we've all talked about, the very high quality of the deliverables that are being presented here. One of the things that I work with a lot is semiconductor workforce development and trying to get more people into the semiconductor arena. And it is a highly technical field. And often when people get into this technical field, they'll go off into health, biotech or other areas. And it's hard to get them into the semiconductors, the business of making chips. But through working with TryEngineering, one of the things that I learned was a key component of that is the demographic that we really need to target is middle schools, where a lot of decisions about careers are made. And that is exactly where TryEngineering programs are giving us the video games, as Randy mentioned. There's also one coming up for semiconductors, giving us information and instruction that we can use for the students at the right time in the type of ways that they will respond to. So they have these brightly colored books that I think are good for all ages, but definitely will be attracted to students. And also the video games where people can engage. And this is a language that they speak is video games, but providing such technical contact, putting it together that now we have students interested in learning more about the subjects that we are also interested in. So I am excited to see the many things that will be coming up, and always looking forward to the new things. And I guess the next thing we're looking forward to is I want to see the preview of the video game, which will come out later this year.
Great. Yes. We all our goal, I guess, is to kind of make those kids being curious, learning from their failure, never stop trying, have analytical, critical thinking, not being able to be manipulated easily. I mean, we kind of share the same goals, and it's so exciting that we are creating resources and tools for teachers and them to kind of build those essential, in my opinion, skills. Great, thank you. Our last question, and then we will open it up to the attendees. So I'll start with Brandy. What has been the biggest lesson you've learned about building partnerships, and what advice would you give to others looking to build impactful STEM education collaborations?
So I think the biggest lesson for OES was just to think bigger, right? To think about what we could do if we take the support of IEEE, right? When we work with this giant organization, we suddenly have this support system that enables us to think bigger, and we can come with our big ideas. And then, like you said, TryEngineering can help us make them work, right? And put a lot of effort into it and actually make this very professional lessons, very professional games and books that we're able to then share with our community, right? And reach out to the broader community, which I think has a lot of interest in the ocean. And so for us, it just has really been to work with other people and think big, right? And if you're willing to work with other people and work together to make things happen, then you can think big, right? Versus if we limit ourselves and we say, oh, we're going to do this all ourselves, suddenly we can't do those big ideas. We're limiting ourselves, and we're just preventing us from having the outreach that we could have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's think big then. We're here to help you. Kathy, an advice. You told us about the lesson. If you want to add something, perfect. But what advice would you give to others looking to build impactful STEM education collaborations?
Right. And as I mentioned earlier, getting, career choices at the time that they do make their career choices, and making sure you target that audience in a way that, communicate them in ways that they, would respond the best. Actually, Stamatis, I think your questions were spot on, because each one of those is, things that we can look forward to when we're building these, education collaborations. Is number one, work together, and then also, work with the staff who are excellent and using their experience to enhance everything that we do and help and make sure that we're communicating in a way that will reach our audiences. And what I also like is that the things that are being presented are persistent. If you want to know what is semiconductors, there are videos that is what is semiconductors. There's a book on what is semiconductors. We don't need 10 copies from 10 different groups on this. We've got it, and we've got a really good one. So then now let's go into the other areas. And there's so much in the semiconductors, so many areas that we could go into. And then that's the thing, is don't do it all at once. Let's focus in on the next part we want to talk about. And, whether it be software or fabs, just focus in and then go straight into them. And making sure that I really do appreciate the methodical way that TryEngineering has been doing this to have us persistent quality things. And so I'm just looking forward to using their curriculum and using their books and the things that I do for STEM education, and that I hope that others will do as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And Stefano, what do you think?
And with my image, I will show you that when you are working on education, you think about different aspects. I want to show you here a picture of the 14 centuries. There were not a printed book at that time, but you notice this is Henry of Germany, the very super famous professor that comes, and you see the first line is taking a lot of attention to him. Second line, you see people that is not very much taking care of him. The third line, people that are speaking, and even someone that is sleeping. So the work on education drives you to some ideas that in the past were well known. Here we have Confucius. They say, I heard and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. We need to put innovation in education. Incremental change are not enough for research, but are not enough even in this domain. When technologies are more complicated than what we present to the students, we have social pain. We have prosperity only when we go with education over the level of technology. And we have responsibilities there. So we learned a lot from the past when there was the idea. Did you remember the Sputnik, the Vostok, Yuri Gagarin, the activity from the DARPA to start the research activities on networking, for instance, in my field. But in the same time, the professor at the high school, if you want to go to the moon, you have to do experiment with your hands. You have to improve with the laboratories, with new activities. So there is a need of innovation in education. We are speaking about no 3.0, not 4.0, 5.0, but we have to do some innovation even in the field of innovation, since there we have the issue of complexity. I show you a radio of the 60 where you had the 7 transistor. Now you have 20 billions of transistor in some of the components that you are using every day. So we want to try to continue with TryEngineering to involve more students to the STEM matter. And of course, we are very proud, such as in this case of Ecuador, where we have very, very nice material produced by them in this type of activities.
Thank you. Yes, actually, we have about 500,000 members. So I suppose by working all together, we can think of more innovative, ways to engage those kids, make them being intellectually curious, and maybe in the future they might be members of a team that will change the world. Who knows? That's our goal. Thank you all. It was really exciting, really interesting. We have like 8 minutes. I don't know. So people backstage, their staff members who are, managing all stuff. So I want to ask them, should we allow questions from the audience? Okay, thank you. There it is. Aisha, I wish to know how the engineering innovation and paperwork works, and also how IEEE Society help us to grow. Can you please give me a short insight about this? Who wants to tell a few things to Aisha?
I can try. So Aisha, I see that you're in India. And so one of the things that we have within IEEE, we have, I don't know if you're in a student or an industry, but so if you're a student, there's a student section that you can reach out to, and they can help you navigate through the many societies and find the one that's interesting to you. As I think on one of the slides that was shown, there's quite a few societies, but we can, and on the IEEE site, there's a list of all the societies and like a brief description of them. That might help, but then it might also help to talk to someone about it. If you're not a student, there's also sections. Look around for Google this India section near you. And again, there will be people there, a section chair that will be able to help you to reach out and find out where your interests lie and connect you with some of the active societies. Brandy, I don't know, Stefano, I don't know if you have additional feedback on that.
I can sort of address how does it help us to grow. So I've spent a good part of my career within volunteering and IEEE just mentoring, right? And so I feel like once you get involved, it helps you to find mentors. It helps you to take on leadership roles, right, within the society. And those things will help you to grow, right, within your career, but also just for your personal growth, right? And so I think that it is very important to get involved in this type of a professional society for mentorship goals, but also for professional goals.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. Okay, how do university outreach programs secure partnerships with IEEE? That's a USA centered question, so I don't know.
Nevertheless, I think that the action of student branches and all these actions that we are speaking about that are for all IEEE, not only for the single society, are a good starting point for this partnership with the schools and with programs for outreach. So I think it is very well organized within IEEE in that sense, and you will easily find a student branch or a section close to you, and you can interact with them in a very positive way.
I want to agree with what Stefano said. I personally am at the University of Southern Mississippi. We have a student branch chapter of OES, right? And that has created, in a way, not an official partnership. We don't have an MOU or anything like that, but we do reach out to them. For instance, when we had oceans on the Gulf Coast, we were able to work with the student branch chapter and bring in volunteers, right? So like once you've started a chapter, you can find opportunities within the different societies. Another thing I would consider is Eta Kappa Nu, which is the Honor Society, is another way to get involved, and that is across all societies. So that could be another way to make connections with IEEE.
And same in San Diego, we have a lot of universities, and they all are student branches. And they also work with the San Diego section, and they come to their monthly meetings and give updates. And the San Diego section will often help them support so many of their events throughout the year, and also help them find events if needed. And Brandy's recommendation for HKN, which is the Honor Society, is also another good recommendation for students.
Okay, thank you so much. We don't have time for another question. I just want to share some partnering opportunities. Meanwhile, I want to thank our guests. It was an honor having you here. Your insights were absolutely inspiring. Thank you so much, and we hope that we will keep working together to create more impactful resources and tools. Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, Matthias.
Thank you, everybody.
Alrighty, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a slide of partnering opportunities. We can you can surely create a society-specific preview content with the help of Try Engineering. You can talk to your society leadership and reach out to us. Of course, the easiest way to contribute is to report your STEM events via vTools. I told you our current impact data, but we're looking forward to seeing them increase. So it's not just using vTool is not just for reimbursement or reporting. It also helps us showcase our impact. And of course, we have you can join our pre-U STEM community where we share all the news. You will be the first to know of any opportunities in the future by being in the community. We've got the volunteer training courses that will help you uh, understand better ways to outreach to school age children or make your program more impactful, etc. And then we've got the STEM grants where you can get a funding for your events and programs, and of course those of you that are the role models in your local community, you can always apply to be a STEM champion. We're here to help you meet your pre-USTEM outreach goals. So feel free to reach out, and of course, register for the IEEE STEM Summit. It's in 2 weeks, on the 23rd and 24th of October, where we are going to have great presentations, 3 great keynote speakers. We'll have a chance to talk to each other in our networking sessions, and a lot more. And we're gonna have a few surprises. So don't forget to register, and keep being curious. Keep working to engage as many kids as possible in engineering. Thank you all for being here, and I'm looking forward to meeting you again in the future. Thank you all.